Okay, so let's start with the DML operations. So for that, let me go back to my local PG admin. So what I will do is just start a query tool. So right now we don't have any data in these tables. So what we will do here is we'll feed the data in our table. Then we can perform any DML operation, which is insert, update, and delete. So for that, let's first check whether we have any data in the tables or not. So let's say out of three table, I'm just choosing shop table. So yeah, so we don't have any records available right now, so that's not an issue. So here, I'll quickly tell you, because here what happens is once we perform any insert operation, right? Insert into, it will start recording, like loading data one by one. So to save time, what I've done is, so I'll show you one example CSV file I have created, which looks like this. Okay, so what I have done is this is my shop table. So basically I have the shop IDs, the shop name, and what are the types, right? So what I'll do is, instead of creating one by one, I'll just load it from this shop details CSV which I have created. To load that, I'm using the PG admin tool. We should not forget that we have to close the connection here and close. So this is important step actually when we work with third party. We have to remember to close the connection. Otherwise, if it is open, it gonna cause some issues later. So we are back now. So the similar things what I'm doing is we can do it in the post in Python as well. But I'm now like we want to use the PG admin for the faster results. So let's see. So here, what we can do is, so we pick like any table which you want to load it from your CSV. So in this case, it is shop table. So I will click there, right click, and just import it. So when you click on import export, yep. So you have options basically either to export the data, what you have it in those tables, or just import it. So I'm clicking choosing import. Then I'm selecting the file name. So for this assignment, I have created three files already with some data in it. So I'm just selecting shop table because we have shop, right? So shop details and select. And now here you have different option to choose it from. You can choose the formats. In this case, we have CSV. Then you can choose, the encoding method. In our, we are not really using any encoding. If it has header, so we don't have any header, right? So I will keep it as no. Delimiter, yes, this is the pipe delimiter, and then you click OK. Rest of the options you can leave it as default. So I'm clicking OK, and let's see what happens. So import export job is created. Now the data is successfully completed. In case if you have error, what you will do is you will go to more details, and here you can actually see what's going on, where exactly it failed. Also, it gives you a nice command, if you see it here, which actually ran in the backend. So if you want to use the command for this particular process, you can also use it. This is the same command, it's just the copy command, and you can also use it in your SQL, which we have done it using the tool. So I'm closing this. Now one table is loaded successfully. Let's check the data. So F5. Yes, so this data is loaded here. So it is coming from our, so 101 is Levi's, Payless, and the data is here. Similarly, let's create a load table. So locator also, I will just go import export and then choose import. So for locator, I am choosing locator mapping, select. All right, so I'm going with default, just delimiter, this comma, and okay. So let's see. Import export job is created and it is started. and it is failed this time, right? So let's see why it is failed. So insert update. Okay, all right. So see, here this is a good example because you have a key constraint. Unless we loaded that particular primary data, primary field where it is actually should be stored, we cannot create the child table. So what we'll do is we'll stop this process. Okay. So we stop that process, and what we'll do is we'll create this address table first. So let's start address, import, export. So import file name, address detail, and select. Now we have CSV encoding nothing, and here it is comma. And let's try this time. So import job is created and successfully completed. Now let's do the child table where the primary keys are there. So import, then we have the locator mapping. All right, so this is done. Select. Now we have the delimiter. So this delimiter, and then click on OK. Now let's see if it fails. So this time if you see, it is successfully completed. So we have to be very careful about the dependencies whenever we interact with the DML functionalities. Now we have some data here. So let's perform some DML operations. So for example, the first one is like, if we want to insert some data into your tables. So in this case, I'm picking my shop table. So insert data shop, we have shop ID, shop name, and we have okay, and we have the shop type. All right, insert into data, and then we will have values. So we can have 125 and game X. Let's name it with category. Let's see, it is games, right? Some simple. So let's run this one and see what happens. So we are running this. All right. So now if you see the duplicate value, so this actually because we have this unique constraint on created, so it is preventing us from updating because the record already exists. So as we saw in this one, so number 125 already associated with EB game. So what we can do is we can change simply and then run it again. Let's see if it creates this time. Yes, the record is successfully added, and we can check the results. So let's check the results. Now we have 126 added to it, so that's perfect. So simply, if you let's say want to, now we loaded one new shop, so let's try and load it, uh, into our locator table. So that shop will have a physical location. So locator and values 126. Let's give it like 550. All right. So all right, so this time I did not specify any columns because by default we know there are two fields and it will take it as it is. So let's run it. Okay, oh sorry, it's insert into then F5. So yeah, it is added. So yeah, so this is how we basically do the inserts and update. And then let's say if we want to particular, let's say if we want to update a particular address, so let's say straight from, let's see which address we would like to actually, let's say select a star from address. Let's see which address. Okay, let's say whatever address this 50 is. So instead, so this zone is north, it shows. So let's change it to E. So that will be our update part. Okay, right. So update address set zone is equal to say E, uh, where we have address dot address ID is equal to 50. Okay. All right, let's do this. All right, so it is updated. Now let's see the results again. So where is 50? Oh, so it's actually because we updated recently. Here it is. So it became E. Now, simply, so we have like insert update. Let's perform a delete operation. So in this case, what we'll do is, let's say we want to delete this 590. Okay. All right. So how we'll do it? Delete from address where address ID is equal to 590. All right. Let's see how it works. All right. It's deleted successfully. So let's check the results again. All right. So this is the 590 is no more. So this is like basically our all the DML operations. Now let's move on to our third part, which is data retrieval, and let's see how that works.